Another favorite thing is parchment paper. We noticed years ago at a Bosch store that they were selling packets of paper that just fit in what's called the half-size pan. This is a half-size pan. So we were buying packages of 100 sheets to put, and they fit just beautifully in our pans. To understand the next part that we're describing about sizes of parchment paper, you have to remember that in the world of commercial cooking, there are full-size pans, which is double the size of this pan. And then they have quarter-size pans that are smaller for home cooking. I use the quarter and the half-size pan. If I had an oven big enough, I'd love to have the full-size pan. But you're cooking a lot of food when you're using that size pan.
It doesn't fit in regular ovens, right?
Then we discovered at Gigi's that you can buy cases of the full-size sheets of parchment paper. And it didn't take us long to figure out that if you take, and they come in like a dispenser package, and these come out to just being pennies per sheet. It's very inexpensive. So if you hold it at the base of your paper, hold it straight, and put a large sharp knife in, you can, in one or two swipes, you cut your paper.
And you have to do it individually?
What do you mean?
You have to do one page at a time?
Only when I'm demonstrating for a camera. I usually take a handful and do the whole thing.
That's what I was wondering.
Yep.
About how many can you do? Just a thick? Like
Oh, it depends on how sharp your knife is and how tired you are. And what I do when I get a little supply ahead, I keep it into another favorite thing, and that is, Joanne, get both sizes of this out. They now make covers specifically. I bought some at Costco and some at Gigi's, but covers specifically that fit these pans. If you have these, it's life-changing. These plastic lids replace trying to keep cookies or baked goods fresh by covering it with plastic film. That is such an effort. And if you have these seal very well, and it keeps everything very fresh. So I have lids for the quarter size, and I have these lids for the half size. And I just take one lid and put my pre-cut sheets in here, and I'm good to go. Let's talk about what do you use these for. It's obvious that it's perfect for cookies. You never have to prepare a pan. Joanne and I used to fight over who had to get the pan ready for our mom's bars, her bar cookies, because you had to grease and flour all cake pans, and most cookie recipes required a greased pan. And it was messy. This is in the days before spray oil. And so we would actually fight over who had to do that particular job. And Bonnie has some uses beyond using it for just the obvious baking.
Whenever I bake chicken, before I had Parchment, that was my least favorite pan to clean because chicken sticks quite badly. So I don't bake any kind of chicken without a Parchment. I forgot what it was. Oh. This is also what I do when I'm baking a cake, but I fit the Parchment so that it fits the bottom and the sides, and I also spray that, and it comes out very nicely out of the pan, and they just peel it off, and it doesn't break it.
Didn't you put a little flute cut?
No, because of the Parchment and the spray, you invert it after,
Okay.
and
there
it
comes
inverts
out.
fine.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you meant that you were cutting tabs
No.
all one
Yeah,
piece.
that's
You don't
what I
need
thought
to
too.
really, not on this.
I've seen that on the internet sometimes. People will cut out the size of their cake pan, except for places that they can grab onto
Yeah.
from the top.
I've never
Get it out.
needed to do that because I think I've sprayed it.
I just thought that's what you were doing.
No.
And so this is one
So-
sheet,
so
one
that-
half sheet.
Yeah, this is one,
Yes.
one sheet that if you,
And then,
When I'm doing, like, my husband loves banana bread, and I'll just put it on one and just trace it with a pencil behind it. That's what she did for the cake, and cut it out and just fits the bottom. I don't put anything on the sides. I just kind of put a spatula around it, and it comes right out every time.
yeah.
what I do with, bring the pan back to look then. What I do, I make a lot of coconut bread, and so I take and fold the parchment so that it fits the length of the pan. Just put it right in there. You don't even have to be, and just let this hang out. I think I saw Martha Stewart do this. So you've just now created a cradle, and when that loaf is hot, it comes right out using the
Good
size
idea.
that you crunched.
Nice.
You can do this for square, for any kind of a casserole
Yeah.
size. Say if you're making cornbread, so you can quickly just pleat it. It's okay to waste a little of it. It doesn't have to exactly fit.
It's a
It
great
wouldn't do
idea.
for a round pan, but
No,
for
but
my,
it definitely
I'll try
would.
that with my
Yes,
banana
that's a
bread. I
great
like
idea.
that. It's much easier.
So we love the plastic lids. We can't do without parchment. I just saw a craft idea where you use a piece of parchment and then give a child their watercolor paints to use that as the base so that they could put paper on top, and it doesn't matter if it spills on the parchment. I think we figured when we cut, it's been a while since I bought parchment, so I'm not on the latest of the cost. But this size sheet is 2.5 cents. We're not talking about a big outlay.
So if you have a child that's particularly messy, did you give them the
go
full sheet?
the full nickel's worth.
That's what my kids were.
I put that under where my grandkids paint.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or that sand, that magic
That-
sand that goes everywhere, but you don't have to worry about it. Well, you really wouldn't have to worry about it if you could funnel it back in. Oh, that's another thing. If you're making granola, it's possible, if you're careful, to line your baking pan with the parchment. Then after the granola has baked and then cooled, you can pull it like this and use it as a funnel to get that granola into a jar.
I actually have used it, like when I'm doing a glue stick, I'll do it on that instead of having to pry it up.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yes, it's a good idea.
I've done that
Except
too.
what if I burned my finger? I
Yeah.
can't get parchment on
No.
my finger to keep from burning it. While we are discussing cookie sheets and pans, another favorite thing, I want to say it for a minute. Another favorite thing is cooling racks for cookies. You know, for years I kind of laughed as I set my cookie sheet on the counter thinking, this is an unnecessary thing to store in a kitchen because you can just let it cool on the counter. Then I started thinking, you know, professional cooks usually don't use something over and over again unless it really works. So I bought a rack, and I can't do without cooling racks. What it does is, say if you take the hot pan out of the oven and you put it on a rack, then the cookies can cool enough till they're set, and then you take them and you take the now cooled pan and you can slide the now cooling cookies right onto the rack and you're done. You could take a spatula and do each one. When I'm baking wedding cakes, I will cool the cake layers on a cooling rack with parchment on top, and then if after it's thoroughly cooled, if I'm going to use the cake later than the same day, then I invert it back in, leave the parchment still stuck on the top of that cake, and wrap the whole thing in foil, and you have a cake that will be totally fresh. When you, I don't know why this is so handy. Well, the parchment keeps it from sticking to the rack, so that's another handy equipment.
They also fit in here, so you could, if you're going to, say you have sugar cookies and you're just drizzling them, you can go like this, and there's very little cleanup. It's all in here, and it drains really well in there.
And now that we're in this mode, the bottom of your cookie sheet is protected with this parchment that's now underneath the rack, and you can lay bacon out, and a lot of people prefer baking their bacon, and this is easy to clean up. Both of these items will clean up in a dishwasher. Bonnie told me the first time she bought a new dishwasher. Tell that story. You went to the store.
I took my pan like that, and it went shopping with me to see that it would fit in the dishwasher.
So she wanted. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, and I had all kinds of comments, and finally I found a dishwasher where it fit, and it was really bizarre to people to see me carrying my pan all over the place, but it was very important to me to be able to put it in there. and now I save some of them and wash some by hand, so that when I need to take cookies to a function, I have something that looks shiny like this, and I have the cover that we just showed to put there. But otherwise, I wash many of them in the dishwasher.
They do oxidize.
They do oxidize in the dishwasher.
Exhibit B.
Yeah.
You can see we have the shiny pans. Those I wash by hand because they're for show.
But this,
you wouldn't want to take this to a party and say.
But rather than arrange them all on, trays that don't have a cover, then this is a better option.
So you can see how oxidized these get. There's no. I even called manufacturer of dishwasher detergent, and they said, that's what it does. We cannot control that. It's a chemical reaction.
So choose a few to put in the dishwasher and use all the time. A few to keep.
I'll tell you, I love the beat up ones the best because I know it's going right in the dishwasher. This is what happens if you bake meat without a parchment.
And my daughter has a cookie business. My daughter that has the cookie business, she has many of those that Diana just showed you that were oxidized, and those are her favorite pans, and she uses them all the time.
Yeah,
it's great for cleanup.
So this will go back in, and we will hand wash this one because it would be shocking to really display those proudly.
But the racks don't oxidize.
No. I like racks so well. Oh, there's a new trick I haven't tried, so I can't recommend this for sure. There's a new trick going around Pinterest where you take a peeled half of an avocado and you mash it through this, and you've got a fast way to make guacamole. If you're making guacamole for a lot of... Now, for 1 or 2 avocados, that's not worth it. But say you were doing 20 avocados for guacamole. I have a family that big, I'm capable of needing that. That's a good idea to remember. So you'd suspend it over a bowl. You'd take this.
Yeah, not on the air, but
no, it wouldn't work on the air. But you'd suspend that over a bowl and then just mash away.
Yeah.
I like racks so well that I've even saved. These are the racks that come with Instant Pots or electric pressure cookers, and they're handy if you've just got a small pan. And I keep them right near my oven so that I can use these rapidly. They're good for steaming too, if you put a...
What if they're good for slicing an avocado?
Well, there we have it. We'll have to try that off camera.
With an avocado.
Okay, so we've gotten through several things that we love. This episode may be coming to an end, but we have more, and we'll have a continuing series of a few of our favorite things.